I had a dream. I'm going to share it with Dave Chappelle, though. I had a dream, Dave. I had a dream. It was a fever dream. Focusing too much on this project. Me being crazy as fuck and shit like that. I had a dream that this thing succeeded in all the ways I hoped it would. People saw through like the clumsiness of it and the randomness, and they found the nuggets that I hope are somewhere in there, you know. That I believe are in there, but I don't know if but I had a dream that they did. I had a dream that people. Now look, this is a bit. You know it's a bit. I put you on hold earlier for it, so this is a bit. And you know it's a bit, but it's not about the fucking fishbowl, you know what I mean? It's not about the fishbowl. It's about trying to take you on a fucking journey. It's about the journey. You know that shit. I had a dream. I had a dream that this... Just really quick, because it relates. I didn't mean to be saying I had a dream in that. I repeatedly, it was just I was trying to get back on topic, and now I'm off topic again. Because in the front of this notebook, I have written the following. Tom Cruise, 5'7". Dr. Martin Luther King, 5'7". I don't know what I was going to do with that, but I don't know. Tom Cruise seems like a pretty decent guy with definitely bipolar or something, and definitely using all the physical maintenance required to avoid genuine psychiatry. Sure seems quite manic plenty of the time. He certainly seems to use really regimented living to manage it, and I wish him well, because he's entertained me a lot, and I think he's probably a pretty decent guy. Anyway, I had this dream that this thing actually fucking worked. It was like I had another dream. I had a dream from the second motel I was stuck in, being homeless, after I fucking lost my mind in the hospital. And just like Bradley Cooper showed up randomly in your story, Ryan Reynolds was in that story. When I was in the hospital, I was going through magazines and I was tracking data, including sexual function, because you know, the medications affect sexual function, and the disease itself affects sexual function. And at one point, as a data point, I wanted to leave some data. I took a magazine that had a picture of Deadpool, mask and everything, and you know, with the help of some lingerie ads, I came all over Deadpool's face, all over his face, and yeah, just in the midst of all that craziness, I blew a load all over Deadpool's face. I wanted everyone to know that. I had a dream when I got out. It was about my project then working out. It was about like there was a big celebration. Like this was this big world-changing event in my efforts. Everyone had a fucking reset of what they thought were their priorities and all that sort of shit. There was a big do. I remember Common was hosting. Trump and Kanye were up in the balcony. They were up there with their, you know, like nurses and stuff, just getting the help they needed. 2018, I just wanted Trump to get some fucking professional help. Thought that might fix some things. Wanted Kanye to get some professional help. I thought that might fix some things. But it was a celebration of me and my efforts. That was a dream I had. Common was there. I think I did some rapping. It's cool. Donald Glover was probably there. I felt good. That was a comforting dream at that time. I was having really vivid dreams. I think that's a side effect. I had another dream that this thing did what it needed to do. Not as big, not as delusional, but still delusional. You know, this hasn't had any success. Nobody knows who I am at this point. I'm a delusional person right now. But it was smaller scale, you know. People like Sarah Haley Finn or fucking what's her face is all over the fucking television. Casting directors, they saw some of the shit I did in this thing, and they're like, "Oh no, he's actually an actor. Like, there's sincerity and candor in there too, but he's doing some acting, and maybe we can use him. It'd be cool. It'd be a better job than being a janitor. Probably." But in this dream, I had made my mark, I guess. It was probably processed the same way any new content. Like I was the new Tiger King for a fucking few weeks. But I went out to Ohio to your comedy club so that I could see you and so we could talk and so, you know, fellowship. Fellowship with a fellow man. I know you're about that shit. And I guess I had turned into some kind of vagabond or like a traveling. I used to have an idea like maybe I could have a company where they would hire me for like 6 months to be a regular employee. And then at the end of that 6 months, I could tell them everything wrong with their company and leave and have money that wasn't minimum wage. That was an idea I had. I'd be pretty good at that job. It might take like a year. Yeah, entry-level positions, and then at the end of it, I get to tell you everything that's wrong and peace out with a price check. It seems like a cool, like, consultant, but a little bit mean-spirited. But that's what I apparently I'd become this mental health consultant. This kind of like traveling, just a fellowship, you know. Go out and fucking, what's that fucking word? Witness. You go witness to people about my experience. Anyway, you were at that I went to your club, did some performing, I guess. We became friends, became close, and you know, challenge each other in the right ways. And you were obviously grateful for me steering you out of that fucking clusterfuck you got yourself into with the trans community. Steer you right the fuck out of it, the way Michael Che never would bother to, because he's busy driving his own fucking rig into that fucking mess. And yeah, we got close. We got to be friends. We got to be so close, in fact, that it's so weird because it was just, I don't know, man. You came out to me. You know, I was saying you'd made great progress, and you were like, no, I haven't. I'm just getting started. And it turned out that the source of all those jokes was you feeling like a lady. Dude felt like a lady. You never had the words to put to it. By the time you had the words, you just couldn't. You'd made too many of the jokes, you know? You didn't know what that feeling on the inside was, and a lot of ugliness came out of that feeling, but you didn't really mean it. You were just trying to express something that you couldn't find a way to express. And I was like, holy shit. You because it was a heavy conversation, you know what I mean? The dream, I'm going to have to elaborate on the dream somehow. I don't have perfect memory of dreams. Just, I guess, I'll tell it the best I can. I'm going to exaggerate a little bit. I'll just deal with it. And we're still, I've moved into, I might even be living above the comedy club at that point. I hope you wouldn't. No, I think you put me up in a hotel. You put me up in a hotel because you just couldn't, you needed that. I don't know what kind of connection you felt with me. Maybe you just thought, like, because I was the catalyst, I was some solution to something, which isn't, those are two different things. Chemistry. You felt strength from me being around you, I guess, man. And I tried to lend whatever strength I could to you. Because I felt you. I felt for you. I saw the pain you'd been going through and the pain you'd been inflicting on account of the pain you were going through. That sucks. That's how the world works. I'm a sock puppet. So we went through the fucking process. I do remember that we went through the whole, I'm sure it was just some weird bastardized stereotypical version of it, and I apologize. But we went through the whole, like, therapy and taking stock your life and big changes, and Michael Che wasn't around anymore, I'll tell you that. He was not there for you. He heard that shit and he was like, nah. And he peaced out and we didn't hear from him for fucking months. He popped up on SNL, he started making jokes about mentally ill people. And then the joke was that, like, he goes crazy if his football team loses. Damn. I tried to slide in some material I didn't have time for. Didn't have time to address it. Yeah, there's some joke on Weekend Update. You're like, oh, this guy's mentally ill, something bad happened. I'd go crazy too if my team lost the whatever something games. You know what I mean? Dude, he's gone. Che's gone. Silverman is just, she says something about look her up after the tits come in. And you don't know if she's serious or not, but you will. You went through the therapy, and you finally, hormones and therapy, I guess. You got emotional, man. I mean, I'm gonna call you man because I don't think you're a real trans person, but if the person in your story was real, then I would feel bad about calling you man, but I'm not gonna, because I'm still just talking to you. But man, you got real emotional and real fucking raw. Real fucking candid with a lot of shit I never fucking thought I'd hear Dave Chappelle talk about. I was there in your corner, bud. You're keeping me at a shit hotel the entire time. But I like hotels. It's like a vacation for me, so it's all right. I'm still just kind of rolling with stuff. Trying not to get hit. And then finally you made the decision. Not every trans person you were friends with at that point agreed with your decision, but you made the decision to get rid of the dingus. Felt like that dingus had been getting in your way. You're tired of tripping on it. And the hormones are hitting at this time, and I hate to... You've had a little bit of work done on the face. But when you're emotional, you know that voice you used for the For the bottom bitch. She's like, oh, that's how you're talking to me when you're saying like really serious stuff, but all I'm seeing is that fucking, oh yeah, no, like that. It's really just, it's disquieting to see, but I've power to it. We're friends at this point, you know, close at this point in the dream. I've known you forever in this dream at this point. You're having a rough time. And it's mostly just being there for you, man. Being there through the times where you're totally certain of one thing and then you're totally certain of the opposite thing the next time I talk to you, because that's how it is when you're trying to fight through this stuff. It's hard to be monopolar when you're dealing with that kind of transition and all the difficult problems we face in reality. We're constantly being bipolar just to manage a classical quantum brain structure. Call me bipolar because my brain don't work so good sometimes. It doesn't mean that y'all ain't bipolar. But you're just going through it. You're just going through it. Your body's flushed with hormones it's not used to, and flushed with thoughts it's not used to, and feelings it's not used to. Going through it, man. And again, the therapist, you got to make sure that you're in a state of mind to get rid of your own genitals. And you are. You're ready to get rid of that fucking dingus. And the day arrives and I'm there at the hospital because it's a short walk from the motel you got me in. And operation goes great. Recovery goes great. Proper lady. Still a good amount of Dave Chappelle. And I thought it was really classy. You took the name Coretta. I thought that was classy as fuck, man. And also the one, I'm not transphobic, but I hate puns. And I hate the pun of people who transition and make a pun out of their last name into their new name. I don't like that. Yeah. Elliot Page, I hate you as a person because you just went to Elliot. And also your reason was because of Elliot in E.T., which is just the most pussy-ass answer for a dude. I hate you, Elliot Page, because you posted a shirtless selfie so you could prove what a dude you are. Prove you're a real man. Post a shirtless selfie. You became any number of short white men, except you're probably still conspicuously concerned with trans issues. And you earned this because of that stupid fucking pun you made. Here's what I don't like. You're asking the people around you to accept something brand new to them. It's not brand new to you. You've had these feelings for however long, but it's brand new to them. And you can't adjust enough to respond to a different opening consonant to someone addressing you. You know what I mean? Hey, Elliot. Like, you know what? I hate it. If David had become DeVita or something like that, I would have fucking pushed him out. I would be like, fuck you. You're an abomination. I saw people with foot fetishes. I hate them too. With like homophobia, but like foot fetish, I don't like them. I think they should all be, they're bad people. They got mental problems. Lana, I know that the trans community has a different relationship to therapy. I know. It's still not really cool what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's still kind of fucked up and irresponsible. There's not a long enough disclaimer at the start of a movie for that kind of shit at this point. That's just from someone who already went crazy on your first three movies. The first three Matrices. Also, I love Speed Racer. Also, I think you're dope. Also, I have a real problem with journalists
insisting things like Elliot Page starred in Juno. If I'm talking to Elliot Page, that person was in the movie Juno. If I'm talking to a reader, I don't want the reader to believe a reality that isn't reality. If Elliot Page had starred in the film, the critically acclaimed film Juno, as a pregnant teenage girl, if Elliot Page had done that, I would have remembered. It would have been a big deal. People would have made a fuss. So that's where I'm having trouble. That's the one thing, Dave, maybe you can relate to that. Maybe trans people could get mad at me for saying something like that, but I feel like it's an editorial thing where editorial wants to respect its subject the way the interviewer needs to respect the subject, and no one's really bothering to respect objective reality that everyone has participated in already, and which exists in a linear time frame and which we can only affect in a linear fashion. The people who want to save Britney Spears and attack Justin Timberlake are idiots. You're idiot children. That's why this is 25 and up. Those children are idiots. I'll talk about them because they're not here. They want to time travel, and their best opportunity for that is to flame Justin Timberlake on Instagram. Justin Timberlake, who is definitely the victim of real shit, which he definitely doesn't want to talk about. And we should respect that. But that's Dave, DeVita, Coretta. The dream is, I don't know, it's weird. I remember her, she's walking up and Coretta is beautiful. She's a beautiful lady. And she is, I don't think it's the hormones at this point. She is just so relieved and scared and excited for the future. And I was there in the dream as like a source of stability or just support. That's all. I didn't do much. I was just there. And obviously it was a dream, so I didn't have to really, even just being there is a task. That's a real thing. People who are just there, I don't want to diminish their accomplishments. In the dream, I just happened to be that person for Coretta, Carrie Weber Chappelle. Michael Che's out making jokes about her on SNL because that's what he thinks he needs to do. And she's standing in front of me, and she's got tears in her eyes trying to express to me what I've meant to her as she kind of went through this shit. Like, on some level, it's so surreal because I can't teach Dave Chappelle anything about comedy. But I made a difference in the life of Carlisle Chappelle that, I think we all wish we could have that kind of impact on someone, just helping someone on that level. She's trying to talk to me about everything she's been through, and she's rambling. She's rambling like I'm rambling right now. But I see her, I see the tears in her eyes, and there's a beautiful mix of a recipe, proper recipe of emotions behind those tears of just hope and desperation and resolution and looking to the future. Finally feeling like herself, And I looked at those tears in her eyes with that beautiful blend of emotions, and I knew in the dream that those tears I saw in Coretta Chappelle's eyes were the exact same tears that were blinding my own. So I kicked her in the pussy.